One. Good evening and welcome to today's live session. Thank you so much for joining in. Hi, thank you for joining. You're welcome. Good to see you. Okay, thank you, V Edibles. Hi, thank you so much for coming in today. Okay, so today we're talking about hi Kel's hair. We're looking at 5 strategies that you can use for pricing your cakes and your baked goods. That's what we're talking about today. But before we go in and before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Omalade Stevens. I run Tasty Touch Cakes, a baking company in Abuja where we create magic in the oven. And recently, I also started helping bakers who have issues with running their businesses or who just want to be more profitable, who are experiencing a phase where they know that they are not getting what they deserve or they just want more out of their businesses generally. So that's where we're at. And that's why we're doing this session today. Yes, good evening. Where are you watching from, V Edibles? So today we are looking at five strategies. Thank you, girls' hair. But I'm tasty with the touch. So today we are looking at 5 pricing strategies you can use to price your baked goods. We all know like there's so many people who do cakes and pricing is usually an issue. Because when you go into Facebook groups, for example, I'm sure you must have seen someone who has come to ask, okay, all the way from Lagos, good to have you. You must have seen someone or 1 or 2 persons who have come into a Facebook group to ask questions like, oh, please look at this cake. How much should I charge for this cake? Please, can you help me? The customer is waiting. The customer is waiting. I need to give a customer a price, a quote right now. They're asking this because they are probably confused or they just don't want to take the time to start putting pen to paper right there and right then. And they also don't want to give the customer a wrong price. They don't want to shoot themselves in the leg. So they feel like, oh, let me come to my baking community. At least maybe someone would have an idea of what this cake is going to cost, or someone is going to have an idea of the perfect price for these cakes. And while I think people do this just to save their face, I don't think it's a good thing, and there's so many reasons why I don't think it's a good thing. Because to begin with, you might be in a different location. It's Facebook, so different people are in different communities and in different spaces. So somebody, if you're in Nigeria, for example, someone could be in Lagos, another person could be in Abuja. So it's possible that the person you're asking is in Lagos, and then you're based in Abuja. You're asking for the price of cake. Your markets are different. You're buying from different places, so your pricing would definitely be different. So eventually it will mean that the pricing you get from those groups are usually not correct, not because they don't want to help you, but they are giving you prices based on what works for them. Sometimes they're also just guessing the price. They don't know as well. They're just guessing the price of the cake. So they just give you a price, say a 2-tier cake. Now someone just says, this cake 8 inches and 6 inches. I think you can just take 20,000 naira. And then you also go and say, let me just add 1k in case this person is wrong. So you go and tell the customer it's 21,000 naira. And then you do the cake and you're just feeling like something went wrong because you're not having that feeling of fulfillment because you did not price your cake correctly. You're welcome. I'm seeing all of you. You're all welcome. I don't want to be doing the welcome one after the other because we are going to be cutting and then joining the live video. So I've done a mini introduction before you all came in, and I'll just like us to go into the topic for the day. 5 pricing strategies that you can adapt as a baker when you want to price your baked goods, you want to price your cakes, you want to price your cookies, your macarons, your meat pies, give me all the names of other things that we bake, breads, donuts, and all those things. So let's just go into it. The first pricing strategy or the first pricing method is called premium pricing. Premium pricing refers to pricing that you can use for luxury products that are very rich, very high quality. So a good example would be if you're baking cakes. I believe I'm talking to people who already know how to bake, right? So you're baking cakes, and if your products, your ingredients are really high quality, premium things, you don't go for low quality things, then your pricing has to be premium. Your pricing has to be, as a matter of fact, your baked goods are premium. So your pricing has to be premium. It has to be. Now, the mistake that some people would make is they do premium pricing, but they do the quality that is not premium. That's going to be cheating. It would mean you're cheating your customers, or you're cheating those who come to buy things from you, and it means you're not straightforward, you're not truthful, and nobody wants to deal with someone who is not straightforward or someone who is not truthful. The people who buy premium, they are not worried about budgets, they just want the quality. If you're a baker, let me give you an example. You know there's a difference between butter and margarine, right? You know there's a difference. They're not the same thing. However, do you know there are some people that their palates cannot identify that there's a difference between margarine and butter? Some people feel, oh, cookies, for example, it's just cookies now. It's just regular cookies. So why should this price be more expensive? Why should this price be less expensive? I'll go for the one that is cheaper. But the truth is that there are some people, when they taste the two, they know that, oh, come on, there's a difference between these two because they're not the same thing. However, some people don't know. They can't tell. And it's really not their fault. They're probably not used to tasting things that are luxury. They're not used to tasting things that are premium. They're not used to tasting things that are of high quality. So they might not be able to decipher that there's a difference between the two. So premium pricing refers to the kind of pricing that goes with your baking goods. When your baked goods are high quality, for example, you only bake with butter, your ingredients are high quality ingredients, you don't cheapen out on ingredients at all. The kind of customers you would attract here, they're customers who really do not mind. They're willing to pay. I'm sure you've seen some bakers, you've seen some cakes that are very small cake like this, and when you ask for the price, you'll be shocked. You'll be like, how is this person charging this much for this cake? And I'm not even charging, I'm charging lesser for a bigger cake, and I'm struggling to get clients. What's going on? And the person who charges something exorbitant for something smaller, almost half of what you're doing, and the person is selling out and people keep rushing them. So you wonder what the difference is. The difference is in that premium. That premium is what makes the difference. Trust me. See, the thing is that premium attracts their own. It's just like the way ants are naturally drawn to sugar. Ruby Cakes and Sweets in the building. I see you. Hi, thank you for coming in. Thank you for stopping by. Really good to see you here. So premium, just the way, you know, when you keep a cube of sugar, you don't need to take a bell, for example, and start announcing, hello ants, please come close, oh, we have sugar here, please come and take your sugar. No, you don't need to do that. They just come by themselves. That's I can't even explain how it happens, but it happens. Before you say Jack Robinson, the first ant is there, and that ant would go back and call the other ones. So premium attracts their own. When you use premium ingredients, your pricing is going to eventually become premium, except you want to run at a loss. And then as a result of that, you attract clients who know that this thing this person is offering is premium. Premium clients don't worry about budgets. They are not bothered. It's not their business. They don't care about budgets. And you'll be doing yourself a disfavor if you think they do not exist. They do. There are clients who don't bother about pricing. They just want the best, AAA approved. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much. They don't care about the pricing. They just want the quality. So that's the first strategy, premium pricing. The second one is penetration pricing. Penetration pricing refers to the kind of pricing you do when you're coming into the business. You're new and you're just trying to break into the market. You're coming in at a low price, and the plan is to increase your pricing over time. In fact, no, I take that back. The plan is to increase your pricing immediately you enter the market. So let's say an 8-inch cake. This is an example, please don't put this anywhere. It's an example. So let's say an 8-inch cake retails for 8,000 naira. Like it's the average market pricing, and then you say, oh, because I'm new here, I'm going to do mine at 6,900 naira, which is almost 7,000 naira. So I'll do mine at 6,900, and people come in and say, oh wow, her cake is nice, 6,900 is really affordable compared to the other ones and all that. So that's penetration pricing. You're coming in at a lower price, The thing with this penetration pricing strategy is that you need to let your customers know that this is only temporary. This is just, we're using this as an entry point into the market, and that eventually your prices are going to go up. You need to let them know that this is for a limited time. It is not something that's going to happen for a very long time. Why this is important is because, customers like people like free things. Let me not say customers. People like free things. You're all welcome. I'm seeing everyone. You're all welcome. People like really free things. So when they see that your pricing is lower and the quality is good, they come in and they want to just keep coming and enjoy that low price, high quality thingy. So you need to let them know from the start that, all right, guys, this is what we're doing, and we're just using this to introduce ourselves into the market. You might not really go into all the details, but you need to let them know that this is for a limited time. It's not going to go on forever. It's going to be for, say, 2 weeks or a week or 3 weeks. The onus really lies on you as the business owner, but let them know that you're running a discount. Okay, the next kind of pricing strategy that you can use to price your baked goods is what I call economy pricing. Economy pricing refers to low budget pricing, fast moving goods. This really works for fast moving goods like breads, cookies, donuts, and all that. And the thing about economy pricing is that what would make it work is you need to mass produce. Because you can imagine if you're doing low budget pricing, the entry price is very low. The only way you can break even and make profits is when you're doing so much of it. So if your profits on a low budget item is like 500 naira, for example, and you want to make a profit of, say, 500,000 naira in a month, I'm not talking of revenue, I'm talking of profits. You need to calculate how many of that product you need to sell in 1 month. This is not a time for you to do this one after the other or one by one, little by little. This is not going to be a time for poco a poco. Do you understand? You need to mass produce and mass market. So you can say that each of these pricing strategies have different entry points. They're not the same. And you cannot really operate on all of them. That's just the truth. So if you're doing economy pricing, you need to bear in mind that your budget is just low budget, and it's fast moving goods, things that just goes like twinkling of an eye. Before you know, you're selling 15 a day, you're selling 13. You're not thinking of selling maybe one order or two. Let's just do 3. No, that's not going to work for economy pricing at all. And what will make it work is that you need to make lots of daily sales. You mass produce and you sell a lot of it daily, on a daily basis. So let's move on to the next pricing strategy. We've talked about 3 now. Talk about premium pricing, penetration pricing, and economy pricing. The next one is price skimming. Price skimming refers to when you're coming into the market with something that is pretty new, a new technique, for example, or a new design that is not popular. Maybe you're the one who started it, or you traveled all the way and you learned it somewhere. When you come back into the country or wherever you go back to your home base, and you want to work on this, you perfected the art and the crafts. When it's time for you to churn out orders using this skill that you've learned, you're not going to price this particular product the same way other products are priced. You're going to have to skim. So what that means is that, for example, I'll go back to an 8-inch cake. If an 8-inch fondant cake is, say, it's 20,000 naira. When you learn a new strategy, oh my God, Habiba Cakes is here. Wow, thank you so much for joining. When you learn a new strategy, she's my boss, so please. When you learn a new strategy of something new, a new technique or something, you're not going to leave that cake at 20,000 naira. You want to add extra pricing on that particular cake. Why? Because it's a new technique. It's not common. And you took a lot of time to actually learn this thing, to perfect your skill. So you need to skim the price on it. You need to just come in and take all the money on that particular technique or style or design. Now, over time, when the market becomes saturated and everybody else is now doing it, then you can decide to say, oh, I can bring the price down back to normal, or just reduce what it is that I've added on it. But in the space of, say, 2 months or 3 months, you must have recouped a lot from the trainings that you've done and all that. Media Cakes, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So that's price skimming. Price skimming is when you're trying to, when you're bringing in something new into the market, and then you're just capitalizing on it. That is what price skimming is. So that's the fourth one. Now let's move on to psychological pricing. When I was giving an example earlier, I mentioned a pricing, if a cake was 8,000 naira, and then you now go ahead and say, because you're penetrating the market, you're doing yours for 6,999. You know that 6,999 is the same thing as 7,000 naira, right? But when you see that 6, your mind makes you feel like it's cheaper. Meanwhile, it's just 7,000 naira. But your mind makes you feel you're seeing 6,000 naira. So, oh, this is cheaper. It registers like something that is really cheaper, but it's not. So that's a way you can do your pricing, psychological pricing. So, for example, you're trying to run Christmas sales now, and you're doing your Christmas cakes. You're selling for 15,000 naira. So instead of just saying 15,000 naira directly, you can just put like 14,999. If you go to big malls and supermarkets, hi coach, my coach is here. So good to have you. Thank you so much for coming in. So instead of, you see big supermarkets, big marts, big malls, they do this a lot. They just do their pricing, and before you know it, you find out that the price on this thing and the way it's adding up in my receipts is looking very different, because you were seeing maybe like 14,999 or 2,999 and 3,599. So everything looks like it's small, but you're actually spending a lot. You're spending a lot, right? So that's psychological price. You use numbers to affect how your customers decide to buy from you. Then finally, I know I said 5, but there's one more. Let's talk about promotional pricing. Promotional pricing is what most people call promo. This is not something you should do all the time, right? But it's for seasons, like when you have holidays and you can just decide to run some discounts. You can do buy one get one free, or buy one get the other half free. All right, so all these are strategies for pricing that you can use when you're pricing your baked goods, when you're pricing your cake products, you're pricing your cookies, bread, donuts, and all that. The thing here is that you cannot, it's very hard for you to use everything at once. For example, you can't run a premium brand, you cannot be doing a premium pricing and then still want to introduce economy pricing. You confuse your clients. Your clients will be unsure. They will be wondering if you're really offering premium or you're mixing something in between, or you're confused or something. So if you want to do premium pricing, I advise to stick with premium pricing. If you want to do economy pricing, stick with economy pricing. And if you want to find a place in between that is just going to be fine for balance, then that's okay as well. If you have pricing is a lot of people. Okay, well, let me just give you a story. During the day, we made something in the bakery. We made what's it called now? Sausage rolls. And then I actually said I was going to answer this question here. Someone came up and said, oh, this sausage roll, we used butter. Why are you using butter? Margin is cheaper. Things are really expensive in the markets now. And then I went ahead to say, yes, things are expensive, but the fact that things are expensive, if you've done your costing properly, it doesn't stop you from selling premium. It doesn't stop you from selling premium. See, if you're attracting premium clients and you do premium doings, your ingredients are really top notch and all that, they will come. They will come because they know. See, these people that you're trying to attract, they have a palate, like I usually say. They know what tastes good to them, and when you do what tastes good, they will pay for it. There is money in the country. Wherever, I don't know where you're watching from, but seriously, there's money everywhere. It's just changing hands. Premium people will come when you offer them the quality that they desire, when you offer them the quality that they want. I said earlier that someone who is not used to premium, when you give them, say, sausage roll or cookies made with margarine, they will not even know. They will just feel like, oh, okay, it's delicious, it's nice. But someone who understands premium, when you give them something made with margarine, they will be like, something is wrong. They won't just be able to feel it because they know what they're looking for. So the point is that if you want to do premium, please do it with your full chest. And then you'll also be able to charge with your full chest. we are doing a pricing workshop on the 4th of December for bakers. See, it goes beyond putting pen to. It's good to put pen to paper, right, so that you know what exactly you're doing. But sometimes there are a lot of reasons why people don't price their cakes correctly. Maybe because they're skipping some elements while they're pricing. They feel like some things are not important. But there are some things you're going to be hearing on that day. You'll be shocked, like, oh really? I had never thought of costing this. You mean this is supposed to be part of my costing? I'm talking of things that you do daily, but it just does not occur to you. And when you don't put these things in your price, at some point you're going to be running at. You won't be running at maximum profits. I don't want to say you're running at a loss, but you won't run at maximum profits. A cake business needs to be able to pay salaries, pay staff, and then also keep profits at the end of each month. So it's not enough to say, oh, we are stocking our ingredients. After you've stocked ingredients and there's nothing left, no cash flow. It goes beyond that. After restocking, buying things, you need to be able to pay your salaries, pay your staff, pay yourself. And if you're a cake business owner and you're listening to me and you probably don't have an idea of how much you should earn, think about this. So let's say you're a graduate. I'm going to assume that you're a graduate, right? You have colleagues, you have associations. You guys maybe have an old school association where you guys are always gisting. Some of your colleagues today, they are doctors. Some of them have gone ahead to do their masters. So maybe you didn't do your masters, but you went to one cake training in the abroad. Maybe you didn't even go abroad. Maybe just you've done lots of cumulative cake trainings. You've done a lot of trainings on how to keep you, to make you a thought leader in your business, to make sure that you are keeping up with, the changes, the trends and all that. You've trained yourself over and over again. You've done trainings, you've done so many things. Think about it. If you're working in an organization with all that how much do you think your value would be? How much will you be paid? Can your cake business pay you that much? Can you afford to take that much from your cake business? If you're not sure, if you're confused on how much you should be earning, because you're working. In one of my last videos that I posted, I said, can you imagine if you go to work on a daily basis, you go and come back, you spend transport fare, you're going, you're coming, and then at the end of the month, your boss just comes and gives you a hug or pats you on the back and says, oh goodness, well done, you've done a good job this month. Thank you so much for working for us. Have a lovely month. See you next month. And then no salary. Hey, you will shout, you will scream. I said you will come to social media and call your boss out like, my boss is trying to cheat me. But many bakers do the same thing to themselves. Sometimes it's not intentional. You just feel like, oh, there's so many bills to be paid. I need to pay for lights, pay for generator, pay for this, pay for that, and then pay my staff salary. At the end of the day, there's nothing left to pay yourself. Like, you put yourself last at the back burner. You don't have any, there's nothing. And sometimes you just feel like, since I'm the CEO now, let me just see. Frustration will set in. I'm telling you, seriously, people don't pay themselves. Frustration will set in because you feel like, what's the point? You might be feeling, you get the high from, posting your cakes on Instagram, coming on reels and doing also, but that it goes beyond that. Do you want to be popular on Instagram or you want your pocket to feel popular? You need to decide you need to decide on what end of the spectrum you want to be on. Do you just want to be posting cakes and posting videos, but you're not buoyant, your account is not feeling it, you're just working? My friend said yesterday that you don't want to walk like an elephant and eat like an ant. And then you say God forbid, but beyond God forbid, if you're doing something over and over again and then you're getting one particular result and you're aspiring to do better, so what's it going to cost you? Just decide. Just decide to change something, and I'm offering that change on a platter on the 4th of December. See, pricing goes beyond knowing your numbers. Sometimes it's a mind block. Sometimes you really know that you should charge more. You know that you deserve more because you see people who do things that are not even as technical as you. People who put out products that are not as, in quote, touche, maybe not even as presentable, but they know their worth. They build their confidence and they charge it. And then they can live a comfortable life. They can live a comfortable life. That is, for me, that's my goal for bakers around me. So when someone comes to me and says, please, how much should I charge for this cake? I answer, I will not deceive you. I tell them what I think this cake is worth. Do you know that sometimes when I tell a baker that this cake is worth this amount, they'll be like, they won't pay, it's too much. All those things, they are mindset blocks. And these are some of the things we're going to be dealing with at our pricing workshop on the 4th of December. Seriously, as I'm on this live video, I feel like I should even increase that price from 20k. I think it's too small, but it's still 20k, don't worry. Too many bakers being underpaid, absolutely too many, and it just causes frustration. So we're going into 2023. You really want your cake business to be upgraded. You really want to do better for yourself. You really want to be able to build a business that can run without your inputs. You want to be able to build a business that you can just be comfortable and be happy building. Something that you will not be feeling resentment. You'll be seeing other people making progress and then you're feeling bad because you know that you can do better than what they're doing. So let's talk about pricing on the 4th of December. Let's dig out. If you have questions, if you have mind blocks, if you have fears that are holding you back from pricing your cakes properly. Do you know something? I discovered something. Some people actually have priced their cakes, they've done their costing, but they are so scared. So they have a cake that's maybe like a 6-inch cake that's supposed to be 20k. And then when someone comes and say, if I tell them 20k now, it's too good to thank you. Some people go like, if I tell them 20k now, let me just say 15. Let me just say 15, and then they'll tell the person 15. You know that customers can sense your fear. They can sense that this person is not really, she's not so sure of herself. So you say, I will just take 15, and the person now says, no, I want to pay 13. God. See, let's just leave all this kind of character, all this kind of behavior. Let's move back in 2022, please. Let's leave it in 2022 so that you can actually prepare ourselves to, especially now that we are even approaching the festive season. It's important that you price correctly. The prices of things in the market, they are not smiling, they are increasing, and it's not enough for you to say, okay, this one has added 2,000 now. After I will use this 2,000 now, I will use it to just listen. Genius Cakes, you are listening, but I'm very happy that you're here. So let me use this 2,000 now. Okay, so this 2,000 increase now, at least I'll use it to bake like 4 cakes. So let me just share 500 naira on top of all the cakes. Let me just share 500 naira. I think that I'll just increase my cakes by 500. Hey God, I'll just increase my prices by 500 naira each. It doesn't work like that too. That's not how it works. So that's really the summary of, we've been able to talk about the strategies for pricing. If you missed it, you would watch a replay, right? But I can just mention to you now, we talked about premium pricing, penetration pricing, economy pricing, price skimming. We talked about psychological pricing and promotional pricing. And then I also invited you all to sign up for the pricing workshop that is taking place on the 4th of December. Is there anyone who has a question or who wants to just, say something about this cake pricing? I'd like to pick one person. You can send a request to join in the live video. I can take just one person because this is 6:29 p.m. Anyone who has a question, please, you can ask or send a request and then ask live so that I can talk to you with you. Okay, let me scroll through. Okay, there are actually some comments. I think I've been missing comments. I was just in the spirits, my God. Okay. All right. I'm actually strolling through. Apologies, please. Okay. So all right. Okay. I don't think there's. Okay, they're just comments. All right. Okay. Thank you all so much for coming, for tuning in today. I really appreciate your presence, truly. And if you have, some people are very shy and they prefer to come into the DM to ask questions. The DM is open, very slippery. We've rubbed high quality premium butter in the DM. It's very slippery. So just come in, ask your questions, if you need clarity on anything concerning baking, even if it's not related to pricing, right? I run a coaching program called BBM, Baking Business Mastery. So it's not just about pricing. So if you want to talk about anything baking, running your bakery business, you have one issue or the other, something you want to talk about, please just send BBM. Just come into the DM, just send the message. Thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate your presence, and do have a lovely evening. See you another time. Bye.